Microsoft is laying some zingers down on Sony, and I think it's more than time that they've done this. I'm just being honest. Let's just be facing facts here. Microsoft has kind of taken it on the chin from Sony and even Nintendo through various ways, and so it's really nice to see them kind of come out on top in this particular area and kind of lay into Sony a bit. I'm not saying Sony's in any danger or anything like that, but what I am saying is that we're starting to see like a huge difference in past Microsoft and now Microsoft, and I think it's really kind of paying off for the better for everybody. And I love seeing stuff like this because it makes you all the kind of understand even more not only the bias that we see in video games right now, but the way that everybody is kind of acting about Xbox in general. It's almost like people look at them as a afterthought or as an outsider, even though they've been in the industry almost 25 years now. So anyway, it's nice to hear them say stuff like that, talk about Xbox exclusivity on Starfield. So many people were all torn up about this. It's not coming to PlayStation. It's not doing this. It's not doing that. You know, again, they've reiterated, double down. When you're making something exclusive, then you have more that you can focus, and I think it's paid off in a big way because Starfield is absolutely, unequivocally amazing. And I have no problem saying that and saying that it is a generational game. So in an interview with the BBC, the games director, Todd Howard, said the ability to focus on fewer platforms always results in better projects. When you're making something exclusive, then the more you can focus, he explained. You know, this is the hardware or the thing that people are playing on, so the ability to focus on that always yields a much better product. Now, while Starfield isn't available on PlayStation 5, as Bethesda had planned prior to the acquisition of Microsoft, the game is also available on PC and other platforms, including Xbox Cloud Gaming. You do want people to access it, of course, Howard said, but being with Xbox means there is an ease of access for us, and I'm told we're expecting more people playing this launch than anything we've ever done before, and that's despite the success of our previous games. I do think people attach brands to certain games. When you think of Zelda, you think of Switch, and I think there are times that can be a real benefit. So basically what he is saying is, you know, when you think of Zelda or you think of Mario, you think of Switch. Obviously, they want you to think of Xbox when you think of Starfield, and I think that's exactly what people are starting to do now, and I think that's where some of the discourse actually comes in from a lot of the haters and things like that. I've never seen it, and I think it's funny because you see, I don't usually believe in like neutral gamers, but there are, you know, a handful of people out there who genuinely will just play and buy whatever to play their games, and even they're starting to notice that there's this weird discourse around Starfield specifically that you don't see for other games, right? For instance, Starfield gets dock points for whatever, but Baldur's Gate right now is currently the highest rated PlayStation 5 game, higher than any of their exclusives, and the game is dropping down to like 17 frames a second, has all kinds of texture pop in, all kinds of issues, sound issue, all kinds of bugs and things like that, but nobody seemed to care. Like, if you don't believe that there is some kind of bias in the industry, I think this really kind of opens your eyes to it. And I've said this before, if Starfield were a multi-plat game and on PlayStation as well, this game would be rated in the 90s. If it were a PlayStation timed exclusive, like say a Deathloop, it would still be in the 90s. I 100% believe that. Nobody will ever convince me otherwise, that people aren't judging this based on, you know, maybe they think Microsoft is trying to monopolize something or trying to consolidate, you know, the industry or something along those lines. I personally don't think that Microsoft is trying to do that at all. They're just trying to stay competitive, and I think Starfield really signifies the starting point to them doing that, and that's exactly what they needed to do. So nice to see that happening, and nice to see people kind of taking note of what Microsoft is doing for a change. But aside from that, you know, he says, I do want also think people attach to the brands to certain games, and that's a good thing. His comments actually echo those of Bethesda publishing boss Pete Hines, who recently claimed that Starfield likely wouldn't have been ready for release this year if it was also coming to PlayStation 5. And he said, and I quote, focusing on fewer platforms has been a big benefit to the team. In June, he actually said this, being on more platforms would mean it's going to take longer, it's going to cost more, it's just a far greater risk in my mind. Of course, according to this, which is VGC, Starfield Review calls it the ultimate Bethesda game, saying it takes what people love about Fallout and Skyrim and casts it across an enormous galaxy. And again, it is absolutely unequivocally just such an amazing game. And you know, I gotta say, I love seeing what they've been able to kind of accomplish with it, and making sure that, you know, gamers have like all these amazing choices and things like that. Like, I play it, and what's funny is, and I was explaining this to people, and they go, well, what do you mean that it's a generational game or whatever? And I tell them flat out, you know, you can do things in this game that you couldn't do in other games. It's like, I'm a space pirate. Literally, I can dogfight with ships, board their ships, steal their ships, kill the crew, take all their stuff, all their contraband, put it on my ship, or take their ship. You know what I'm saying? I can take all that stuff with me, and what's really incredible about it is we're seeing more and more people understand that that's not even part of the main game. You can just do that. You can land on a random place, a random planet, and see a space pirate, and then board their ship and steal their stuff and sell it. Like, the way that they've got this game is honestly just amazing. It blows me away how good this thing is. And you know, you of course have people that are going to try to downplay that for whatever reason, and I got to be honest, it is unfortunate, but I also think that, you know, we're starting to see some pushback with this as well. So I hope that we see this, you know, the change coming soon, and I hope that gamers start to see, you know, Microsoft as more than just, you know, this platform that's, you know, garbage or whatever the people think, you know, because people honestly do kind of think that at times, or say that, and it's really unfortunate. So like I said, I love seeing it. The way that things are happening, everything is kind of happening for a reason for Microsoft. The way that they've managed to kind of get this game out, and you know, not only the way that they've managed to get this game out, but the critical acclaim across the board for this game has been nothing short of impressive. And you know, I think again, the fact that this game is Xbox, I always say, you know, an Xbox game, you can probably up the score on Metacritic 3 to 5 points, and you get the actual Metacritic score. So to be quite honest, I had expected like a 92, somewhere along those lines, and that's probably what it should be. You know, but again, we're not going to let that kind of ruin the fun, or focus on the negative, because there's way too many positive reviews out there in the world. So that's what we're kind of seeing now, and you know, that's the exciting part of kind of this whole new Xbox experience that's going on. And listen, this is in Game Pass, a day one game, right? This is the equivalent of, imagine Nintendo having a service and putting Zelda in their day one, or imagine Sony, they do have a service, but imagine them putting God of War in their day one, or the next big Naughty Dog game in their day one, right? People would lose their minds over it, and yet people, all they want to do is criticize Microsoft. I don't get it. You know, make it make sense. Somebody in the comments, or hit me up on Twitter, let me know. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it. I'm Crap Gamer. This has been Crap Gamer Reviews. If you enjoy my content, leave a like, subscribe, rack 'em up. Crap Gamer out.